It's a beautiful sunny day here in Spain. We're in that transition, we're moving into the summer weather. It's getting warm. I'm feeling a little bit overdressed in long trousers. Soon be time for the shorts. But during a time of transition, it's always a time maybe just to ponder some questions about photography. And the one that I'm really pondering at the moment is, how is my photography evolving? And how does that affect the decisions and choices that I'm going to be making over the coming months? I thought I'd spend a bit of time today, rather than just going out and taking photos, although I'm sure I shall take some photos while I'm out. I thought I'd spend a little bit of time pondering that question, letting you know what's happening with my photography, and maybe just encouraging the people watching this to ask themselves the same question. I hope you'll enjoy the video. If you do, and you're new here, don't forget to hit subscribe before you go. Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. And I actually wanted to start out by saying a big thank you to everybody who commented on my last video with get well messages, because if you watch my last video, you'll know I was saying I was getting over a cold and I still had a bit of a chesty cough and I wasn't feeling 100%, and that combined with being really busy with other stuff kind of made it difficult to get out and do photography. So I just want to say a thank you for the well wishes. I am feeling a lot better, although I've still got a bit of a cough and I'm still kind of struggling with any serious exercise at the moment because it makes me cough and wheeze a little bit. So I've just decided to take it easy today and come out and do some local stuff, and as I said, pose this question about, how is my photography evolving? What path am I taking? What direction am I taking? How am I growing as a photographer? Because that will affect so many decisions, and as I said, I'm encouraging everybody to ask themselves the same question. When I'm considering the question, how is my photography evolving? One of the things that I'm doing is looking back at my recent photo shoots, my recent images, and of course my recent videos, and considering which images from those I am the most drawn to. Which ones do I feel the greatest sense of achievement in capturing? And what I'm finding is that the images that I'm drawn to the most are the ones that are the least obvious compositions. It's where I've picked out some detail or texture or shape or something that isn't obvious in the scene and created an image that is pleasing, is maybe abstract or maybe not, but it's certainly something different to the obvious big landscape photography scene. And I do feel that that is kind of the direction that my photography is going. Doesn't mean I'm not going to carry on shooting the big scenes when I'm in the right place and the conditions are right and all of those other things. But I'm being more and more drawn to those small, forgotten, intimate, detailed scenes that a lot of people just walk past. What I'd like to do at this point is thank one of my viewers, Jeff Heron. Now, he commented on one of my previous videos, and in that comment he left me a quote. Now, the quote is from the photographer Elliot Erwitt, and I'm going to read the quote out to you now. "To me, photography is an art of observation. It's about finding something interesting in an ordinary place. I found it has little to do with the things you see and everything to do with the way you see them." Now, that quote really speaks to me. I don't think that's something I always achieve, but I do think it's something I want to aspire to. Okay, so I said earlier that understanding how my photography is evolving will also influence the choices that I'll be making over the coming months. So I wanted to revisit that because I think there's two areas where it will influence those choices. And the first one comes down to camera gear. Clearly, the type of photography that I'm enjoying doing the most, that I'm getting the most reward from, requires a certain agility, a flexibility in terms of ease of deployment of the gear and the availability of a wide set of focal lengths to enable me to be creative with these, less obvious images. So it reinforces to me that lightweight, highly flexible gear is what I need. Now, I'm sure there are lots and lots of really good camera systems out there that would provide me with that. But at the moment, the little Canon that I'm using, given that I know the quality of images that I can pull out of it with the lenses that I've got, I'm just not seeing that there's a burning need to go out and buy something else for improved image quality or whatever else it might be. So one of the decisions that is influencing in the short term is probably just to stick with what I've got, and in the medium to long term it will probably mean that I'll be looking for something small and lightweight and highly flexible for my photography. I think the other decision that it kind of reinforces for me is that I don't always have to seek out particularly great locations. I've never been one to seek out the iconic locations, to crave after the honeypot scenes, but there is always a feeling that maybe I should be trying to find, the most beautiful locations that I can. And of course I still will do, because there is a certain enjoyment in photographing particularly beautiful scenes. Or in fact, there's a particular enjoyment in visiting particularly beautiful scenes, never mind photographing them. But what it does mean is, I don't always have to think, I need a great location to go to, because I know that the kind of images that I'm enjoying capturing the most don't always rely on the most obviously beautiful locations to shoot. So that's a good thing for me. It means I can continue doing the kind of thing that I do. I don't necessarily have to be traveling vast distances and that kind of thing. And I think it's about time to wrap today's video up. Today hasn't really been about going out and getting new images, as it has been about just thinking about the direction that my photography is taking. Although there's a couple of images today that might look quite nice. I'd love to know what you think in terms of the whole question of evolution of photography. Do you feel your photography is evolving in a certain way, or do you want it to evolve in a certain way and you're kind of working towards that? And always interested in your thoughts in what I've said about the way that my photography is evolving. Make sure you tune into next week's video. It will be an in the field test of a new bit of photography gear. It won't be the kind of agile type photography I've been talking about today, I suspect. I can't tell you what the gear is just yet, so you'll have to tune in next week to see. And in the meantime, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, you know the routine. Likes, shares and comments are always really appreciated. Check out the recommended viewing. If you've enjoyed this video and you're new here and you want to see more of my stuff, don't forget to hit subscribe before you go. And as always, I really appreciate you taking the time to watch, so thank you very much. And until the next video, bye.